I feel like saying good morning Vietnam, but good morning Business Eye to everyone on this beautiful Friday. Do you know what I was thinking on the way in here? I was saying, maybe it's time to change the music at the beginning of the show. You know, we've got a new website up online. The place is looking spick and span. Everyone is there's a great atmosphere in the station. We've got our amazing sponsor for the show, which is the local enterprise board, or Leo, which is sponsored by Leo down in Dunleary-Rathdown.
Don't forget hashtag making it happen.
Making it happen as well. So the local enterprise office in Dunleary-Rathdown.
There's a fresh feeling here, isn't there?
There is, yeah. Everything is happily moving. But I was thinking maybe just change
the music.
What do you think?
Maybe something classical, a bit sort of sweeping, and
I think we'd have a debate. We'll probably arm wrestle over the choice of what we're doing on it.
Yeah.
But yes, things are good, and it's been an interesting week.
Yeah.
Simon, how's your week been?
It's been a busy week, and lots happening. 2 websites launched. I'll give a quick plug to the one my friend Justin Caffrey, friend, coach, business partner, and I launched a website, mindsetandmindfulness.com. And anybody who's interested in mindset growth, mindfulness, well-being stuff, as you do a lot of Joe, more than happy to visit the website and contribute. It's a free website, free resource. We really want it to be a place for people to share their thoughts and feelings about those whole areas. So just a bit of a plug on that.
And on the new website, it's the dublinsouthfm.ie and .com. It's a new, fresh site.
It's a great site.
It's plodded along. So thank you to all the staff here at the station.
And our guest is watching us, thinking, "What are they talking about?"
Tell us about our guest, Simon.
So we have a really exciting real techie payment guy here called Ruairi Gough from Paytient Payments and other things. Welcome, Rory.
Welcome. Sorry, thanks very much for the kind welcome. It's great to join you both today.
It's great to have you here. And we were just having a chat before, all things dental and payments and all that sort of scary stuff. So tell us a little bit about your business first, and we can explore more about you.
Yeah, absolutely. So my own background is sales and marketing, and about 10 years ago I set up a specialist dental marketing business here in Ireland. So in more detailed terms, we provide dentists with websites, branding, Facebook pages, Google AdWords management, social media, graphic design. So effectively everything they need to communicate with their patients. They're known historically for being fantastic at treating patients in the chair, but outside of that, you'd be at a loss to hear from your dentist outside of the time when you're actually in the chair. So we, as we kind of touched on earlier, I was very fortunate that when we started the business, only 10% of the dentists in Ireland had websites, which is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And
you're saying there are about 1,000 dental practices in Ireland?
Yes, that's correct. Approximately 1,000 dental practices with 3,500 dentists.
Okay, so only 100 had websites.
100 or less.
Wow.
But it's if you even look at some doctors out there as well, a lot of them don't have them. Again, also, if you look at some architects or you look at barristers or solicitors, they don't have them either. So what made you go for that niche in the market? Why did you go, these are the guys I'm going for, this is where I feel is a golden opportunity to me? Why dentists?
I tell you, it was a collection of fortunate and unfortunate circumstances. So I was working in a sales and marketing job, and I actually lost that job back in 2009. But previous to that, I was actually working in a radio station. I won't mention the other radio station.
If you do, we'll just have to bring you outside
and edit.
But I was working in another radio station, and one of my clients was actually a dental lab. So a dental lab makes crowns and bridges and dentures and all this kind of stuff for dentists. So I was working for them. I was selling them radio ads at the time. And when I lost my job, I went back to them to do business development, trying to sell their services into dentists.
Yeah.
So while I was doing that, I noticed that nobody was actually catering for the dental market. And I said, hold on a minute here. I've 20 years of sales and marketing. And I've got these contacts now in dental practice, and I put two and two together, and that's how I ended up in the dental industry.
And that you just kind of went. It was probably a moment that you got this great thought in your head and went, aha, yeah.
You could say it was an aha or a fate moment.
Yeah.
So So we kind of got the few introductions through the dental lab, and as we kind of discussed before we came on here, it was slow start in the first couple of years, but now 10 years on, I have a name in the industry, and I'd be known to most of the dentists across the country.
Wow.
It's interesting because dentists, people only really go. It's like people only really go to the doctor or the dentist when they need to go. And I know that some of the insurance companies offer, for a checkup once a year or whatever on them, and then if people want crowns or whatever as well. But a lot of them don't. And the new system you created up, which is like it's a financial planning for your dentist and your oral health. And from there, people then, which I love the idea, is pay €5 a month or pay €10 a month, and that allows you to connect with your dentist and get your teeth sorted, your gums, your mouth.
Yeah. So
am I right in that? Am I wrong?
No. You're absolutely right. So just, for your listeners, so they understand. So having worked with dentists for so long and helping them with their marketing, social media, we felt that every other industry, you mentioned solicitors and barristers, and every other industry had embraced digital payments, and I felt that healthcare and dental specifically were being left behind.
Yeah.
So about 2 years ago, I set up a new company called Paytient Payments. So the website is there, paytientpayments.com.
Paytient.
Yes,
cool,
yeah.
right,
So it's a bit of a play on pay and the word patient. So Paytient payments.com. And what it is a suite of digital payment solutions for dental practices and subsequently other healthcare providers, so vets, opticians, nursing homes, private hospitals, nutritionists, exactly. So anyone that's really in the healthcare space. But as Joe rightly touched on, with the dental practices, so say at the moment, if you have, I personally have 3 children, so I brought them to the dentist last year, and by the time we were done with all the bits and bobs, I was out a couple of €100, and it kind of...
couple of hundred?
I was going to say...
yeah.
I was about to say plus.
Yeah, I was on with a couple of hundred extractions and fillings and checkups and the whole lot, but it kind of reinforced what I was thinking about in terms of putting plans in place for my kids. So like insurance, or I have a mortgage and cars and everything else, and I pay for everything monthly. So I was thinking, why don't I put a payment plan in place to preempt my kids and make me more likely to bring them to the dentist?
What about the thing that has put me off in terms of joining these payment plans? I just assume that when you join a payment plan, at the end of it, you paid a lot more than you would have done if you paid in a lump sum. If you join some payment plans, they secretly add in 10% over the period. How does that work with your plans?
I suppose with our system, it's so. I suppose at the moment, a lot of people might have dental benefits. Joe mentioned VHI, or there's another dental benefits provider in Ireland, and you get a defined set of benefits for X amount in payment each month. But I suppose the issue I have with that is that if you don't use those benefits, at the end of the year, the insurance company keeps your money.
Yeah.
Whereas with my system, you're paying the membership fee like a gym membership directly to the dentist.
Yeah,
okay.
I think the whole thing is about being transparent.
Yes,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and it's like, there's some insurance out there in the automotive industry for your car, and the people buy these insurance, and some of the insurance they go to get it repaired, and they go, oh no, sorry, it's only if your engine blows up or something that isn't covered in it.
Right. Okay.
But what I would believe, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, is that I'm paying this monthly fee, and that is guaranteed, that's calculating and guaranteeing me to get my checkup every 6 months, right? However, in that checkup, if I need to get more work, that payment plan can be either adjusted, or whatever's left in it can be used towards the bigger payment.
Yeah, so that's a good understanding of it. I suppose we are only a startup business, so we are trying to figure it out, and we don't want to make it too complicated for people. So I mean, I was looking at reviewing my health insurance the other day. There's 300 odd plans for general health insurance in Ireland, which is nonsense. So what we've done is we've created 3 simple plans, A, B and C. And A is for a PRSI or PRSI paying adult. Another one is for a non-PRSI paying adult, and another one is for a child. And they're the 3 first plans that we're going to offer at different price points. And that will be agreed with the dental practice. So what we'll do is we'll put a web page on the dentist website. So for people who come onto the website, they can see what they're going to get for their money, how much it's going to cost every month, and that won't change. So it won't be like, there'll be no hidden fees on it. Once you sign up, then you get your statement, your email every month telling you what you're entitled to, and then when you go into the dental practice, they have a dashboard that shows them what, Joe, for example,
what you've
has
got in
paid.
the bank, basically.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
So under the 3 plans, you will get your exam, you will get your hygienist clean, and then you will also get a discount off. You mentioned fillings, crowns, dental implants of say 10 or 20%.
It's something as well which has to be towards a reward system as well for loyalty. Those sort of things.
So is that built in as well, a kind of a loyalty thing, or?
Yeah, I mean the whole reason that a dental
take notes. We won't charge you for this consultation.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm learning here. Every day's a learning day. But I suppose this is the big reason a dental practice would take a system like mine on board, is it creates loyalty. So say if you go to the gym, you're paying your membership there every month, you're more inclined to go, and you're going to get more long-term health benefits from it.
You've a membership for a gym. Do you go?
I do.
You do? Yeah. No, I don't.
No, I go because my wife goes.
So, I mean, again, it's about simplicity. So people see the benefits they're getting. They see the fees up front. It's easy for the dental clinic, and we can do a sign up through 2 pages on the website. So you go in, you see your package, you click select, you put in your name, your email, and your IBAN, and you're done. And that's it set up.
It's interesting because oral hygiene has only really come in the beginning of the early century. Before that, there wasn't. No. It's a mad how it's evolving.
Yeah, I mean, the industry itself has changed. So, like, say 10 years ago, the dentist would have done the hygienist clean.
And now
it's a specific job, and the hygienist will see you every 6 months because it's in your interest for your long-term oral health care.
Are you looking at what's happening around the world? And we mentioned Australia. Australia's really advanced in this space. Are you researching what's the way to configure these programs by looking around the world? Or?
Yeah, so Australia is a good example, and actually for dental membership plans, Australia is behind the curve, would you believe?
Right.
The UK, though, would be ahead of the curve with membership plans. So there's 10,000 dental practices in the UK, and as far as the best figures suggest, 40% of dental practices have these membership plans in place already.
Okay.
So we're obviously connected into the EU market, which is 33 countries that use the euro.
Yeah.
So I suppose with the Brexit and everything else that's going on there, it doesn't really make sense to go into the UK market. But through our financially regulated partner, we'll be able to transact sterling in Q2 of this year.
Okay.
So absolutely. I mean, Ireland is a great market to test technology or a new startup business. It's small, it's closed, and if it fails, you can walk away and wash your hands.
Yeah, I would agree. And, it's very hard to be a prophet in your own land. And, the Irish will rip things apart. And if you can, I always believe that at any technology company or any other company that wants to go global, if you can really, put it in and speak to the Irish people and all, because everyone is a critic.
Cynics,
and if you can get past that, then you go, okay, outside of my own world, people will be a little bit softer. Yeah. In England they'll tell you no. In Ireland they won't tell you no, but they'd slag the arse off you behind your back.
Exactly.
And if you can crack that on it. Yeah. But one of the things that people always complain about as well, and with the dental industry, is there's people who fly off to Poland, or there's people go to England because they believe that the pricing of it here is so expensive because there is only 1,000 plus. So is there a monopoly, or are people getting more wiser, or will this make people stay with their own local dentists instead of making trips abroad?
I suppose without going in, like, we could do another whole show on dentistry abroad.
Pricing,
and pricing. Like all services in Ireland, they're expensive because of the cost of doing business. Tax rates are
Yeah,
high. I mean,
rates,
rates are high. Cost of employees. So all of that contributes to the cost. I think our standards generally in Ireland are very high in comparison to some of the other countries you might have mentioned. You've also got comeback. So I've met Irish dentists and they're like, look, if my patients want to go out to Hungary or Eastern Europe and get treatment, that's fine. But in a lot of cases, it's documented and it's all over the news. People go over there and there's a case of over-treatment. So you go in and you land there for 5 days and they do as much dental work as they can, but you've no comeback if it all goes wrong.
Yeah.
And also maybe the materials wouldn't be the same standard. So I suppose in a way that's kind of what you're
It's
paying
like the
for.
automotive industry, and it's like every other, it's Europe. It's my bugbear there is car insurance, but we'll talk about that another day.
That's another day.
Or all insurance.
I mean, in terms of our prices for dental work, and I can't speak for the industry, I'm not the IDA here, but the same prices are the same in France and Germany and Spain and Italy. And you touched on Australia earlier, like that's on the other side of the world. I have a massive market of 300 million people in Europe, and I can fly to any one of those countries in 2 to 3 hours.
Are you competing against the likes of PayPal and Stripe and all them? I know they're bigger and multi-million pound industry, but you would be coming in as a small competitor of them.
Yeah, I suppose in a way you've got to look at the different niches in digital payments. So like I'd always think of the likes of Stripe or PayPal as the wholesaler. So they build all the back end systems and they put them out to everyone and say, look, you use them if you want to, and here's our fee for doing so. What we do is we work niche market of dental and then a bit more broadly into other healthcare.
So how do you attract somebody who's about to go to the dentist next week? How do they find out about you, and what do you do to attract them to come to you?
Well, this is it. I mean, again, going back to Stripe and PayPal, they just provide you financial services. We actually provide financial services and marketing and communications material on top. So when a dentist signs up with us, we have, first of all, we have completely regulated and financially secure transactions through our partner. We also then have a suite of communications and marketing. So simple examples might be a waiting room poster, social media posts for their Facebook page, and we'll also build all the information and put it on their website. So we offer a complete end-to-end solution.
Did you see the name has slipped my mind, but Google bought a payment, an Irish tech company who does payment plan. Google Pay bought it for 3.5 million or something. An Irish startup.
Was this recently?
Last week.
Slack.
Okay.
No, it's like I can't remember what it was.
I actually.
But that's what I'm saying is that could be an opportunity for yourself a couple of years down the road, and someone like Stripe or Google might go, okay, here's a startup that's in the market. They've got a good idea, and they might make a purchase on it.
Well, I mean, you're absolutely
if they're
right.
hearing out
Yeah,
there.
if they're hearing, hello, we're up for sale. Highest bid is only.
There's 300 million customers.
But actually, it's funny, since I've put about 2 years into starting this business, and in the last 3 to 4 months, either MasterCard or Visa have actually looked at the healthcare niche and said, yeah, this is something we want to get involved in. So the long-term goal, every startup or every entrepreneur's dream is to be bought.
It's an exit plan.
But for me, it's a tack on to my existing business. I have a well-established, successful dental marketing business for 10 years, and the digital payments, I'm already talking to dentists, so it's just like, here's another service we can do.
It's the upsell. It's the upsell, and it's part of that recurring revenue as well for them and for you. So it's you could say, without getting into the nitty bits and the bolts, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah,
really.
It is,
and we've kind of focused here on the membership plans, but another thing I would like to include on the
two platforms,
Sorry, another thing I'd like to include on the platform at a later date is patient finance. So if you have a bigger treatment plan, or you require one of say 5 or 10 grand, where's that money going to come from? If we could give you that, or we could put you through an application process. We talked about open banking and PSD2
funding
from your own bank. So Bank of Ireland, AIB, let's mention them all here, Pound and TSB and KBC. We could actually put a loan application through your own bank to get you the finance for that treatment there and then on the premises.
But it's all about monthly payments, isn't it? People make decisions on monthly payments. People buy cars. We know the wants and the needs, and people buy holidays, the wants and the needs.
People think on a monthly basis.
They think on a monthly basis.
They do.
And if it's something that's affordable to them and it's a no-brainer, they'll go with it. I'm getting the next step then. The next step for the dental practices is then teaching them how to sell this product to their customers. That's the evolution of it.
Yes, and in a way, we kind of touched on that. We're going to do that for them. So we're going to create all the graphics, the marketing for their Facebook pages, the website.
But it's that conversation they have with the person in the face-to-face conversation in the reception area is where the king is. Yeah.
Absolutely. So like. And I think it'll be a case, as I said, this model is very well established in the UK, where the first maybe 10 or 20 patients to get on board will be difficult, but after that it'll be a bit of a rolling stone. And people will say, do you do patient payment membership plans? And we'll also be doing our own marketing to raise the profile and have a list of locations that are on board with us.
Rory, I know you have to shoot off. We're going to take a quick break, but before we go, where can people find you, have a look, bring out those details there?
Yeah, I mean, everything is on paytientpayments.com. So just to reiterate the spelling so people get it correct, Paytient payments.com, or just you can look me up, Ruairi Gough either. It'll come up, and the dentist information is there, and hopefully the information will be arriving in your local dental practice soon too. If we're successful over the next 6 to 12 months.
That's great, and great having you on the show as well.
Thanks very much, guys. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Brilliant. And we're going to take a quick break, folks.
So in the second part of the show, we have another wonderful guest by the name of Rachel Bell from Airfield Estate. Welcome, Rachel.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody.
It's great to see you here. I think before Rachel talks, though, I think Joe wants to say something.
Yeah, no, it just came to me during the break there. I went out for a bite to eat at a business meeting last night. Not business, more of a friendship meeting. And it was with a David O'Neill from Liffey Finance. And I went to a restaurant. And it was unusual because usually you go to network meetings or you go meeting people for coffee. We decided to go and meet for a bite to eat. Yeah. So we went to a restaurant, and it was just a different way of networking. Yeah. And it was just a great night. The two was just shot the breeze, said what was happening. The food was excellent, and it was just a different way of networking.
Sometimes it's easier to connect when you're just in that relaxing
but it was the meal instead of
the.
And I know I run these masterminds, and I'm thinking of maybe changing them to a lunch.
That's a great idea.
Just everyone sitting around and having a bite to eat. So I'm gonna tease on that, and that's because David, he was kind enough to invite me for a meal. So that's David from Liffey Finance.
And maybe we could do you maybe you could do a lunch at Airfield at some
point. I'm running an event in there, and I love the food there.
It's a great place. It's
a wonderful place,
especially on a day like today.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
day.
absolutely beautiful.
I'm looking here. There's not one cloud in the sky.
No,
so
it's a bit cold, but it's perfect.
Crisp.
I know.
Rachel, first time on radio.
It is. Yes.
Drum roll, shaking. Yeah. Now we're going to do the 50 questions.
Oh, excellent.
And you have to get them right, and everyone, okay. So who's the President of Ireland? Okay. Who was the character in... There we go.
There we go.
But Rachel, welcome.
Thank you.
Airfield. What an amazing place.
It is.
You know that I have a very fond heart for Airfield. I love bringing my kids there. I love walking around. I love the events that you have there. So it's a non-for-profit organisation, and they solely rely on people coming in through the door to keep it going on it.
Yeah.
So yes, you're new to the business there yourself?
I am, so I started there in March, and I look after all the events that take place there. I work in sales, so we run loads of different type of events, from our festivals that we run kind of in May, on the May bank holiday, and then also in September, with some other events, then our Christmas experience also.
Good, brilliant. We were there with the kids this year as well.
Yeah, and then we have loads of different other events as well. So we have weddings there, which are very popular during the summer months.
Weddings,
We do weddings, so we can kind of do smaller or larger weddings. We cater up to 120 people total. So we are actually registered to host civil ceremonies on site as well. Wow. So they can get married within the walled garden. Wow. And then for smaller numbers, up to 54, we can cater for them in the library room in the main house. And then anything over 70, up to 120, is in Overend's kitchen. So it's a beautiful setting for a wedding there, I have to say. And the guests and the bride and groom have the opportunity to take pictures all around the estate. So it's a really wonderful setting for weddings.
you're a big part of the community as well.
Absolutely.
It's not just the organisation, but the events that you hold. You're part of Dún Laoghaire Rathdown. You're part of the chamber as well, and the local enterprise office in Dún Laoghaire Rathdown as well have run some events, I believe, up in yourselves. I think it's just a great place. I'll just keep saying, rabbiting on. It's such a great place. It is.
So, what, in terms of your business development plans for events, are you constantly thinking about new types of customers, new types of events? Are you constantly thinking about how to reinvent and bring new stuff in?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I said, we do weddings, but we also cater for meetings there as well, and also for a lot of family gatherings. So with our meetings, we have our library room, and we also have the Hive, and we have a new meeting room coming on space as well. So we cater for kind of smaller and larger meeting spaces, and within the corporate area of it as well. And we do a lot of kind of work-related things. So for people having their corporate day outs, their team buildings as well, and that they can cater for that we can do team building activities as well, which is brilliant.
You're creating a smaller room for a smaller gathering in corporate. That's brilliant.
Exactly.
Because at the moment you have just the one large base. That's great to actually have.
So kind of encourage people, and it's a beautiful place for people to come and hold a meeting, and then during their lunchtime they're free to walk around the estate as well. So it kind of gives that space where they're intimate during their meeting, but then they're also kind of avail of the tranquility of Airfield.
I would say that would keep business meetings calmer than usual.
The energy is great.
It's a great energy. It is a special place.
They can kind of gather their thoughts then again during lunchtime.
They can run around the garden screaming, get lunch, and then come back in.
Exactly.
What about ecotourism? Those kind of things. Are you promoting that, or is there an opportunity there? Or
there certainly is an opportunity. I know it's something that we are kind of looking at down the line. Our sustainability is always something that we're working towards as well. And our kitchen are always working on reducing their food waste, and also a large project last year was improving the waste segregation on site. So we're kind of the majority of our waste goes to recycling now. So that is always something that we're looking to kind of gain and strive to achieve.
And the history behind who were the original owners?
So the Overends were the original owners, and then it was the two daughters, Naomi and Letitia, so they kind of ran it. So they were really into kind of the Irish Red Cross and different kind of first aid, so they kind of brought the charitable kind of side to it as well. They were really kind of pioneering women, that they were very into the farm side of things. They had their Jersey herd, which we still have there today, and they're kind of, if you talk to the older generation, I suppose, in Dundrum, they're very much used to seeing them driving around in their Rolls Royce, tongue tied on that, sorry. So they're just fantastic people to kind of look up to, and that still strives to be in Airfield today.
And I think, because I was involved in the legal side of things there 20 years ago, I think I'm right in saying that the place is there in perpetuity. It can't ever go, basically.
Exactly,
which is amazing.
So it can never go.
No, that's my understanding. It's bequeathed in perpetuity.
Wow, that's
so it's left in charitable trust. So we still run it as a charity.
Because I'm sure that the property developers
valuable land
fly over in their helicopters and want to build. And which is such a shame, because there's places out there that are just, you turn around and there's grass.
Carrick Mines, I used to live in Foxrock, Cabinteely area, and you come out of there and you'd be instantly in the country. Now Carrick Mines is going up to Stepaside.
Do you know the Horse and Hound in Cabinteely?
Yeah, I do.
I remember. I know the Horse and Hound. That was my local at one stage. I remember the Horse and Hound. During the summer, you'd have all the horses and all the dogs for the fox hunt, and they would all gather outside there. Hundreds of dogs, and then they would go off. This was before the M50,
Brennanstown Roadway,
and up off chasing the fox.
Yeah, it's all changed.
And me only 20 as well.
Wow. We're a couple of old guys.
But so it's and all the places all behind there now is all being developed. So that's why I feel
it's got to be kept there.
It's definitely just
absolutely
a place that needs to be for our children's children on it, and it's educate. That we laugh about it, and where people might go, ask the kids in school where does a broccoli come from, and they say the supermarket. It's all the education for the children to show them how things are grown, the animals and everything as well, and the organic.
Absolutely.
Do you feel people are changing their ways that they consume food now to what people did about a decade ago?
I think so, yeah. I think people are more aware of where their food comes from. And in Airfield we have 38 acres altogether, and 6 acres of that is organic certified food gardens. So it's a huge part of bringing the children up there to educate them as to how the food is grown, and even to see it grown. Like I myself last summer was walking through the food gardens and kind of had to stop to look and see what was that growing, and it was a courgette, because you saw the beautiful flowers coming up and then you saw the courgette coming out, but it never really occurred to me how it actually grew. So it's fantastic the amount and the variety of vegetables that we are growing there, and the produce that we grow there, to actually see how it is being grown both out in the garden and then also in the polytunnels.
The colours there are amazing.
Yeah.
We were there in July for your event in July, and it was just like festooned with colour and stuff.
Yeah.
Do you remember when you were younger, there was Box the Fox, which was robbing orchard? People used to hop over the wall and run in and rob the Granny Smith apples.
I used to do that. I set up a stall in the front garden and sold them with my brother.
Do you get people jumping in and nicking?
We don't actually. Yeah. No, it's very well.
Because you have a gun, don't you?
Definitely not.
Enter at your own risk. But do you remember jumping over the wall?
I did that for profession. What's it like to work there for you? I mean, is it it must be relaxing. You must feel privileged to be there.
Oh, absolutely privileged. Yeah, it's a great place to work. And if there is a time at any stage where you do feel maybe a little bit overwhelmed, it's great to just kind of go for a little stroll around the place. And the staff there are just absolutely brilliant. Like, everyone really enjoys working there. Everyone's really behind it. So you kind of feel that, and you get that sense of exactly part of something. The kind of pride of working there as well. And everyone's striving to achieve the same thing, to make it better, to make sure that it's kept well for all the visitors that are coming, and to encourage more people to come and visit.
It's one of the reasons why I hold my event there. It's the Change Your Mind, Change Your Life event, and I'm running it on the 25th of January in the location, because of the grounds, because of the energy, because of the food, that it's organic, that the event is very special, and it's for lifting people's spirits and make people have a great day. And I wouldn't get the same lift if I was running
in a hotel or somewhere.
When the hotels are good, we're not knocking hotels, but there's just something for the event that it is.
No, I agree.
For there that it's very special on it. So it's it is super. I tell you what, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back, folks.
Hello again, and again, thanks to our sponsors, the Local Enterprise Office at Dunleary Rathdown, #Making It Happen. Rachel, we were talking during the break about events coming up. What are the events that are coming up?
Yeah, so we have a lot of different events that all can be found on our website. So kind of in January we have a scone making workshop and a vegetarian dinner workshop. So that's something that's really kind of coming to a light now with vegetarians. We also have a fermentation workshop, and
that sounds dangerous.
It does. That's one of our Chef Luke Matthews' favourite things, so fermentation would be a really good one. And then we also have our warming bakes workshop. Then starting from the 9th of February we have our young chefs, so that takes place every second Sunday throughout the year. It's always really, really popular and books out, so that's a good one to watch. Then also on the 14th of February we have the first of our series of dinners for the year. So this will take place in Overend's Kitchen, and it's a 5-course meal created by our culinary lead, Luke Matthews. So it takes place on Valentine's evening. So it's a great kind of different event. Usually Overend's isn't open during the evening, so it's kind of completely something different. So
who can come to that? Can anybody just come to your website?
Yeah, so if they go to the website, they can book tickets.
So anybody who's romantically inclined. So.
Exactly, yeah. But they can book tickets online. Then also our afternoon tea is starting happening again on Mother's Day, which is the 22nd of March, and it takes place during the summer months, the last Sunday of every month. So we've loads of different events coming up that can be all found on the website. So for all ages, whether it be kids with the young chef, the dinner events and different things.
You'd be limited
the
with the
year.
Valentine's because you couldn't rock up with I couldn't rock up with my wife and my 3 kids to wreck the place. Everyone romantic. Oh, I don't want to marry you. Smashing the place.
Maybe not for that one, but that's the first of a series of dinners we have throughout the year. So we have another one coming up in spring. We usually have one in summer, then another one in autumn.
What about activities other than events? Are there other sort of non-event activities that happen there?
There are, yeah, absolutely. So every day we have a number of different activities that take place. So at 10 o'clock we have our egg collecting, which takes place in the chicken coop. At 10:30 then we have the Jersey herd milking and the tasting of the cows, which takes place in the farmyard.
Have you ever milked a cow and drunk the milk straight away?
I drink raw milk as it is.
I did that once in Australia.
No.
It's warm and kind of custardy, isn't it?
It
tastes like
is.
custard.
Yeah, it's a lot creamier, especially
Yeah,
with the Jersey herd. It tastes a lot different.
It's like
than
custard.
Exactly, a little bit like custard. But we do that at 10:30 every day.
Our engineer is pulling faces inside there. Alison is going, oh my God, no.
That's what's in your tea, Alison.
Not a fan of the milk.
Talking about food, you know what I've cut out meat for breakfast totally, and I've cut out meat for lunch. And I'm only eating meat 3 times a week, possibly for dinner.
Yeah, we're similar, about 3 times a week.
Because
We would be too.
I'm mainly just sort of thinking, okay, the less meat I eat, maybe it could be an environmental impact if so many people do it on the planet. I'm really
a lot of people are doing it.
Yeah. And I do miss my sausages.
Sausage.
And I'm testing all these artificial sausages, I should say.
They don't work.
Oh my God, I had a beetroot sausage the other day, and it tastes like I was eating. Went into the garden and picked up a load of soil and ate it.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah.
What would be are there any other activities?
Yeah, so those are the first 2 things. Then at 11 o'clock we have the calf feeding. So that takes place, and we had a new calf born there the other day as well. And then at 11:30 and 2:30 Wednesday to Sunday we have a house tour. So when the artefacts were found in the attic of the old house, we've created a museum in the ground floor of the main house of the estate. Yeah, so our tour guides give a tour at 11:30 and 2:30, so it's a really good chance to see the background of the estate and the overends.
Rachel, we're coming to we're going to take a break here now in a second. But where can people give the website address? Give all where if people want to book or check it out, and the times that you're open and everything. Yeah,
so if they check out the website, which is airfield.ie, all the information is there on all the activities that take place, the pricing, the opening hours, all the events that are taking place as well. So they can find it all there.
All there on it, and the staff are all really happy. Happy staff.
Yeah.
It is a great
We
place.
try our best.
And great coffee, I have to say. Great coffee. And Simon, what are you doing for the rest of the week?
Tomorrow I'm actually doing a goal mapping session with the Junior Chamber of Commerce in the morning.
Okay.
And then I'm doing some more work with IES Abroad at American College on Monday, and then just catching up on stuff.
And how was Kerry?
You mean Cork?
Cork,
It was lovely, yeah. We stayed in Cork, but Kinsail's my favourite place.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Yeah. I think it's fishy you have to eat down there.
That's right, fishy.
It's booked up.
Yeah,
totally booked up. We're just going to switch over now to a radio interview I did with a Deirdre O'Brien. She was just speaking about a very good friend of mine, Mark O'Brien, and a fundraiser that we're trying to organise for Mark as well. So on that note, lads, I'll talk to you later.
Thanks, Rachel.
Thank you.
I have a very good friend of mine on the line here, and it's Deirdre O'Brien. And the reason why I brought Deirdre on, her brother, who is also a very good friend of mine, is had something really strange happen to him last year, which, believe it or not, put him in a coma and left him deaf. And with technology, he is possibly able to hear again. And I want Deirdre to tell the story. Deirdre, are you there?
Yeah, hi Joe, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm very good. Thanks for taking the time out to speak to me. I'm very good.
Deirdre, tell us about what happened to Mark.
Yeah, so Mark give you a bit of background. He's 51 and he lives in Middlesbrough in the UK. Extremely fit and looks after himself very well. He went to bed one late Thursday evening in May. Wasn't feeling well. Had a bit of a headache. Woke up on the Friday morning and was feeling dizzy. So back to bed. His partner had managed to get an appointment with the GP that afternoon. When she went to wake him up to bring him to the GP, he was actually unconscious. So at that point, they got an ambulance and he was rushed into hospital. Very quickly seen lumbar puncture done, and they realised that he'd contracted a rare form of meningitis called pneumococcal meningitis. Yeah. And he was straight in on life support. So he was on life support for 2 weeks, I think. I don't know. That time was a bit of a blur. Yeah. We all obviously jumped on planes and trains and ended up, watching him in that state. And, he spent the rest, a couple of months in a coma and 6 months in hospital. As a result, he has Bell's palsy on his face. He's impaired vision. He walks with a stick, but the most life-changing impact of the disease is that he's profoundly deaf, so he can't hear.
Yeah, it's quite shocking because I know Mark, many years, and Mark is a good guy. There is no badness in Mark. Mm-hmm. He's always, up for a laugh, he's a joke, positive. And what I found about when this happened to Mark, his positivity after coming out of that coma, like, being honest, we all thought he was going to die. And there was a visual, people praying, and people were, expecting the worst. But when he came out of it, he was actually positive, and he was going, I'm alive. Yeah. So I know that he was deaf because the meningitis got into his brain and caused these issues. And I know he's had surgery with one ear, and that surgery he now hears something electronic. He'll hear the voices electronic. Yeah. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to raise funds to get the second ear done.
Mm. Yeah, so in the he's obviously in the UK. So with the NHS will give adults one cochlear implant, and they give children two, and that's simply down to health economics in the UK. Yeah, and the cochlear implant that he has been life changing for him. He uses an app through an iPhone, so he can hear people on the telephone. He has a device that connects to the television, so that goes straight into the implant that's in his head. And it's been really, really, it has given him back some element of quality of life. Yeah. Now, the second implant is more of a surround sound implant. It'll take away the noise if he's in a noisy situation. It'll be able to help him figure out which direction the car is coming from if he can, if he's standing on the road. Yeah. And it's but it's an expensive operation, and it's quite intricate in regards to even getting the test done, because he can't have a full MRI because he has a magnet in his head already. Yeah. So it's specialist MRIs, it's specialists. And
there's a window of operation. There's a window as well that if it goes on too long, he won't be able to receive this as well.
Exactly. What happens with the meningitis is it starts forming, hardening your skull over time. Yeah. So if the skull is hardened, then they can't actually bury the implant into the head.
Tell me, the fundraiser and the reason why, I don't normally do this, but I know Mark, and he is a really good guy, and he's always looking at the positive with this. You know, he says, I'm alive, I have my partner and I have my kids and everything, and this will just help him in the quality of life. And I know you are asked people to make a small donation, because if multiple people make small donations, a lot can happen. What is the fundraiser if people want to make a donation to help Mark?
Oh, well, we set up a GoFundMe page, so it's gofundme.com, and the name of his particular fundraising campaign is called Help Mark Here.
Yeah.
So if you simply put GoFundMe Help Mark Here into the browser, you will see the fundraising campaign. It's under my name, Deirdre O'Brien, and you'll see pictures of him and the whole story, the backstory as to what happened.
Brilliant.
I have to say, Joe, I just want to take this opportunity for anybody. I know, a lot of your friends listening to this who are also his friends and mine. People have literally come out of the four corners of the earth.
Yeah, I know.
It's actually humbling to see the amount of people who are friends of his, friends of mine, friends of my sister Catherine, my brother Johnny, literally have come from 20, 30 years back, donating amounts to him.
Yeah.
He is just, and the other thing you say is the positivity. I knew Mark's a comedian, he's a very, very funny guy, and he's very, very positive, but I never had him down as a philosophical type of guy. He has never complained, he's never said why me. He just gets up every day and gets on with it, takes each day as it comes. He's been absolutely incredible.
Beautiful. Anyway, Deirdre, look, we, as I say, we have that name there, and if anyone can make a small donation, it will change this person's life on it. So, Deirdre O'Brien, thank you for coming on to Business Eye and for sharing the story. It is heartwarming. It brings a tear to my eye. And Deirdre, look, we let's try and get this fund 100%. Okay.
Thanks a million, Joe. Thanks a lot for the opportunity.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.